If you're a senior with weak legs, trouble standing up from a chair, or you feel your legs shaking after just a few steps, then what I'm about to share today could completely change everything you thought you knew about leg strength. Because here's a truth most people never mention. Walking, the thing we've all been told is the key to healthy legs, isn't always enough, especially when your legs are already weak. I'm Sarah. I'm 45 years old. I've spent over 20 years working in senior healthcare, from in-home care to working on a ward dedicated to older patients. Over all those years, I've watched countless seniors walk every single day, rain or shine, and still their legs stayed weak, still shaking, still unable to stand up from a chair without pushing off with their hands. That's stuck with me, and today I want to share what I've learned from real-world experience. Before we get into it, if this is your first time on my channel, I'd love for you to subscribe so you don't miss the senior health videos I post every day. And I genuinely want to know about you. Leave a comment telling me your age and what your legs feel like right now. I read every single one. I mean that. So why isn't walking always enough? When your legs are already weak, walking only keeps the muscles working at a low level, not hard enough to force them to grow stronger. It's like keeping an engine idling instead of actually revving it up. That's why so many seniors walk for months, even years, and still feel just as weak as when they started. The good news is there are 5 simple exercises you can do lying right in bed that I've seen make a real difference for so many of my patients. These exercises wake up exactly the muscle groups that walking tends to miss. And exercise number 1, which I'm saving for the end, is the one I always recommend first to anyone with weak legs, even someone who just got out of the hospital. Stick around, because by the end, I'll walk you through exactly what it is and why it matters so much. Starting at number 5, we have ankle pumps. It sounds simple enough that a lot of people skip it entirely, but this is actually the foundation everything else builds on. Skipping this one is one of the most common mistakes I see. Here's why it matters. When you sit or lie down for hours at a time, blood starts pooling in your lower legs. Your calf muscles, which act like an important pump sending blood back up to your heart, stop working. And when that pump shuts off, your legs start to feel heavy, tingly, and weaker over time. I once cared for a patient named Robert, 82 years old, living alone in Columbus, Ohio. He kept complaining his legs would swell up by the end of the day. After I had him doing ankle pumps 3 times a day, in less than 2 weeks, he told me his legs felt. To get set up, lie flat on your back with your legs stretched out in front of you. If it's more comfortable, place a small pillow under your knees, though it's not required. Just make sure your feet are free to move, not tangled in the blanket. Here's how to do it safely. Slowly point your toes away from you, like you're trying to reach the foot of the bed with your toes. Hold that for 2 seconds. Then slowly pull your toes back toward your face, flexing your ankle as far as comfortable. Hold for 2 more seconds. That's 1 rep. Move slowly and with control. Don't rush it. The slower you go, the harder your calf muscles have to work. Aim for 15 to 20 reps per set, 3 sets a day. Morning, afternoon, and right before bed works well. This exercise is good for almost everyone, but it's especially helpful if you sit a lot, if you've recently had surgery, or if your ankles swell by the end of the day. Now, for the common mistakes, because this is where people trip up the most. The first mistake is going too fast, which turns it into a meaningless flick that doesn't engage the muscle at all. The second is only pointing your toes and forgetting to flex them back. You need both directions for it to count. And the third is holding your breath. Breathe slow and steady the whole time. For maximum benefit, try gently squeezing your calf as you point your toes, like you're trying to crush a grape under the ball of your foot. That conscious squeeze is what separates a half-hearted ankle pump from one that actually builds strength and circulation. If you're finding this video helpful so far, go ahead and hit like so more seniors can find it. I post senior health videos every single day, so don't miss the next one. Moving up to number 4, we have heel slides. This is a gentle but powerful movement that works the muscles around your hips and knees while keeping you completely safe lying in bed. Heel slides combine hip flexion, bringing your thigh toward your chest, with bending your knee, all in one smooth motion. The reason this one ranks so high on my list is because it directly trains the same muscles you use every time you stand up from a chair, climb a stair, or step out of a car. I remember a patient named Dorothy, 76 years old, a former elementary school teacher in Phoenix, Arizona. She couldn't stand up from a chair without using her arms. After 8 weeks of doing heel slides for just 10 minutes a day, she was able to stand up completely unassisted, something she genuinely didn't expect. To get set up, lie on your back with both legs extended in front of you. arms resting comfortably at your sides. Wearing socks or smooth pajama bottoms can help your heel glide more easily across the sheets. Some people place a small towel under the heel to cut down on friction if the sheets are textured. Here's how to do it safely. Start with whichever leg feels stronger. Slowly slide that heel along the bed toward your buttocks, bending your knee as you go. Keep your heel touching the bed the entire time. Don't lift your foot. Bring your heel as close to your buttocks as comfortable, then pause for 3 seconds at the top. Slowly slide it back down. That's 1 rep. Do 10 to 12 reps on one leg, then switch. 1 to 2 sets per leg, once or twice a day. This one is great if you struggle to stand up from a chair, if your knees buckle when you walk, or if you're recovering from a fall or a stretch of bed rest. It's also wonderful if you have arthritis, since the gentle bending lubricates the knee joint without any weight on it. For common mistakes, the first is letting your heel lift off the bed, which turns it into a totally different exercise and loses most of the benefit. Keep that heel pressed lightly into the mattress. The second mistake is rushing the slide, letting momentum do the work instead of your muscles. Slow down so each slide takes about 4 seconds each direction. The third is forgetting to exhale as you bring your heel up. Breathe out, sliding up. Breathe in, sliding back down. For maximum benefit, try squeezing your thigh muscle as your heel slides up, like you're pulling your kneecap toward your hip. That small addition activates your quadriceps along with your hip flexors, doubling the strengthening effect. Many of my patients tell me that after just 2 weeks of consistent heel slides, they feel steadier on their feet. Their legs actually want to lift instead of dragging along behind them. Next up at number 3, the straight leg raise. This is one of the most well-researched exercises in all of physical therapy. It targets your quadriceps, the big muscles on the front of your thigh, along with your hip flexors. Here's why it ranks so high. Your quadriceps are the single most important muscle group for walking, standing, and preventing falls. When your quads weaken, your knees give out, your balance falters, and getting out of a chair becomes a daily battle. I worked with a patient named James, 70 years old, a former factory worker in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His knees were so weak he had to grip the handrail on every stair. After 12 weeks of straight leg raises, just 5 minutes a day, he told me it was the first time in years he'd climbed stairs without holding on at all. To get set up, lie on your back with both legs extended. Bend one knee and plant that foot flat on the mattress. This grounded leg supports your lower back and prevents strain. The other leg, the one staying straight, is the one you'll lift. Make sure your back feels comfortable and supported before starting. Here's how to do it safely. First, tighten the muscle on top of your straight leg by pulling your kneecap up toward your hip. This step matters. Without it, you risk straining your hip instead of building your thigh. Once that muscle is engaged, slowly lift your straight leg about 12 inches off the bed. Keep the knee straight but not locked stiff. Hold for 5 seconds, then slowly lower it back down over 3 to 4 seconds. That's 1 rep. Do 8 to 10 reps on one leg, then switch. 2 sets per leg, once a day to start, working up to twice a day as you get stronger. This helps almost anyone with weak legs, but especially if your knees buckle, if you can't get up from a chair without pushing off with your hands, or if your legs feel wobbly going downstairs. It's gentle enough for mild arthritis too, since there's no impact on the joint. For common mistakes, the first is bending the lifted leg. The moment your knee bends, your quadriceps stop working hard and the exercise loses most of its value. Keep that leg straight as a board. The second is lifting too high. 12 inches is plenty. Going higher just shifts the work to your hip flexors and can strain your lower back. The third is swinging the leg up using momentum. Lift slowly, and if you can't lift slowly, lift less high. Control is everything here. For maximum benefit, try counting out loud during the 5-second hold. It forces you to breathe and keeps you honest about the timing. Also, gently press your lower back into the mattress during the hold, which engages your core and protects your spine. Let's pause here for a second, because this is something I see over and over in my work. So many people come to me thinking they're too old to improve, but I've watched it happen again and again. Just a few weeks of consistency with simple movements like these, and the body responds. Moving up to number 2, the glute bridge. This works the muscle group I see neglected most in seniors, your glutes. I know glutes might not be the first thing you think of when it comes to leg strength, but this is something physical therapists have known for decades. Your glutes are the engine for your entire lower body. When they're weak, your knees, hips, and lower back take over the workload and wear out fast. When they're strong, walking feels easier, standing up from a chair gets simpler, and your balance improves noticeably. I remember a patient named Margaret, 78 years old, living alone in a small apartment, who'd had a fall in her bathroom. After 10 weeks of glute bridges 3 times a week, she told me she felt much steadier getting out of bed at night, no more feeling like her legs might give out. To get set up, lie on your back with both knees bent, feet flat on the mattress about hip width apart. Your heels should sit roughly 6 inches from your buttocks. Rest your arms at your sides, palms down for stability. Here's how to do it safely. Press your feet firmly into the mattress, especially through your heels. Squeeze your glutes as hard as you can and slowly lift your hips off the bed, aiming for a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Don't push past that line, it just strains your lower back. Hold that bridge for 5 seconds while keeping your glutes squeezed the whole time. Then slowly lower back down over 3 to 4 seconds. That's 1 rep. 10 to 12 reps per set. This is a lifesaver if your hips feel like they're giving out when you walk, if your lower back aches after standing, or if you struggle to get up from a low chair or the toilet without help. It's especially valuable if you've had a recent fall, since strong glutes are the body's natural fall prevention system. For common mistakes, the first is lifting with your lower back instead of your glutes. If you feel the effort in your back, you're doing it wrong. Squeeze your glutes first and the back strain disappears. The second is letting your knees flare out or collapse inward. Keep them stacked over your ankles the whole time. The third is forgetting to breathe. Exhale as you lift. Hold gently at the top. Inhale as you lower. For maximum benefit, try pressing your heels down slightly harder than your toes, which brings in your hamstrings along with your glutes for a fuller hip extension. And at the top of the bridge, give 1 extra hard squeeze before lowering. That final squeeze is what actually translates into real-world walking and standing strength. And now, the number 1 exercise, the one I always recommend first. This is the quad set, an isometric contraction of your quadriceps done while lying completely still. Before you write this off as too simple to work, let me share what I've seen in my own practice. For patients whose legs are already weak, walking often isn't enough to recruit the muscle fibers needed for real growth. A static contraction, on the other hand, forces nearly every fiber to fire at once. To get set up, lie on your back with both legs extended straight in front of you. You can place a rolled up towel under your knees if that's more comfortable, though it's not necessary. Rest your arms at your sides. Make sure your back is fully supported by the mattress and your neck is in a comfortable, neutral position. Here's how to do it safely. Focus on one leg at a time. Start with your right leg. Press the back of your right knee firmly down into the mattress, like you're trying to crush something underneath it. As you press, you'll feel the muscle on top of your thigh tighten up. That's the quad set. Hold that contraction as hard as you can for 10 seconds. Don't hold your breath. Breathe slow and steady the whole time. After 10 seconds, fully relax for 5 seconds, then repeat. Do 10 contractions on the right leg, then this exercise is gold if your legs are severely weak, if you're bedridden or recovering from surgery, if your knees feel unstable when standing, or if you can no longer walk any meaningful distance. It's also perfect for arthritis since there's 0 joint movement, which means little to no pain for most people. Even patients who can't do any other exercise on this list can usually manage quad sets. For common mistakes, the first is not pressing hard enough. A weak press gives weak results. Press down like it actually matters. The harder the contraction, the greater the gain. The second is releasing too soon. If you let go after 2 seconds, you miss the deep activation that happens between seconds 5 and 10. Hold the full 10 seconds even when it burns. The third is doing both legs at once. Splitting your focus weakens the contraction on both sides. Do them separately. For maximum benefit, try this trick. While pressing your knee down, also pull your toes back toward your face. That adds an isometric contraction through your shin and calf too, multiplying the strengthening effect across the whole leg. And count the 10 seconds out loud. Speaking forces you to breathe, keeps you from straining incorrectly, and gives you something to focus on as the burn builds. So that's 5 bed exercises I genuinely believe can help your legs get stronger, even when walking alone isn't cutting it anymore. Start tonight with even just 1. You don't have to do all 5 at once. If you can only manage 1, make it the quad set, then add the others as you build strength. At this stage of life, consistency beats intensity every time. Pick 1 exercise to start tonight. If you're only doing 1, make it the quad set. Add the others gradually as your strength builds. Aim for consistency over intensity. A few minutes every day matters more than 1 intense session. Before you start any of these, 1 important reminder. If you have joint issues, a recent surgery, or an underlying condition, talk to your doctor or physical therapist before beginning. And if you feel any unusual pain during these exercises, not normal muscle fatigue, but sharp or noticeable discomfort, stop right away and check with your doctor or pharmacist before continuing. If this video helped, give it a like, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more senior health tips that actually work. Your legs are stronger than you think. Now I want to hear from you. Do you or someone you love struggle with weak legs or trouble standing up from a chair? Which of these 5 exercises are you going to try first tonight? Share it with me in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. And don't miss my next video, where I'll cover the early warning signs of fall risk that so many seniors and their families tend to overlook. Thanks for watching.